And if you saw me at the beginning of the stream, I said on the 26th of May, that looks amazing for, I don't know if I said GME or AMC or both of them, but yeah, I think I did say both of them look amazing. That full moon looks amazing. I'm just saying. Yeah, if I said that this next waning phase of the moon could be a big colonization phase, and we could be waiting until the end of May. Welcome to the Market Moon Lord, where we merge the matrix with the stars. I'm your host, Jason Alexander, the blue moon of Neptune, here to help you navigate through the illusions of life. And today, we're gonna have a little update on AMC, on what we saw and what we're seeing. So what I was saying at the beginning of the video, we had our biggest climax with AMC and GME for that matter on a waxing moon. That's when the moon's growing and going into the full moon. I had that labeled in green right here. So my next prediction is during this waning moon, while the moon is essentially fading away, phasing out, dying, and becoming a new moon, I don't see us having the big climax. I have us seeing a bigger climax on a full moon. But I looked at the astrology of the full moon of May 26, which happens to be a lunar eclipse. Okay, a lunar eclipse happens when the sun, the moon, and the earth are aligned together in the sky. The earth is in the middle, blocking the sun rays from hitting the moon. This is a major astrological event, and it's only going to happen 2 times this year. Hold. Houston, it is confirmed. This is great energy for a moonshot. Yeah. AMC. AMC. Yeah. AMC. Okay, so before we go too far in the future, let's go back to the past a little bit. Last week, we found out that there's major dark pool trading on AMC that's driving the price down. And it's a way to keep us retail investors in the dark, but hey, good thing we have astrology. And also check out my video on Senadell's dark pool company named after the moon phase, Apogee. And last week, we were getting a lot of deceiving news saying that AMC offered shares, but they didn't, and they're actually holding a shareholders vote for that. Shout out to the Discord for bringing it to my attention that whatever brokerages you own AMC with, you gotta email for the vote. I say no for dilution, but this is not financial advice. And we heard all last week, AMC Entertainment is in too much debt. They barely made it through 2020. They won't survive. Well, you know what I say. You know what the stars say. Yeah. Hold the
Jason
line.
Alexander, the blue moon of Neptune.
Yeah. AMC. Okay. AMC. I'm becoming Jason Alexander. I'm Jason Alexander, the AMC GME hype man, here to help you navigate through the AAC GME illusions. And let's see what I was saying before all this stuff was happening. Yeah, exactly. Someone said that's all the manipulation is, probably. Exactly. So I saw manipulation before in other videos. But let me see what's going on with Mercury, because Mercury is lit right now. Look, square to Neptune, that is this deception. Mercury square Mercury, that is miscommunication. Something's not moving correctly. Numbers aren't lining up. The I's weren't dotted. The T's weren't crossed. That's what that is. Mercury square Mercury, because Mercury rules intelligence, and when it gets a square to, when intelligence is getting square to intelligence, you could be miscommunicating, saying things you shouldn't be saying, or making bad decisions, or not paying attention to details. But since it's happening with Pisces energy, to me it becomes deceptive energy, deceptive communication. Making a square to psychological planets, the moon and Pluto. This Pluto. All right, so I'm still thinking about that. I'm still absorbing that one. Look at what Mercury's doing. Mercury's making an exact trine to Jupiter. That's really good for AMC. That's really good for good news, communication. Trine Jupiter, that's really good for expansion. But then it's getting the square to Mercury, which is going to say, you know, maybe there could be bad communication as well. So we're getting a lot of like communications here. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. A lot of contradictions. Now let's look at this square. Venus is having to Pluto and it's having to the moon. Okay. So Venus, remember, it does represent money. Okay, I just said that the sun can overheat things. Okay. The square can make things uncomfortable. This is the stock. Okay. And this is a funny business here when I talk about this, because Pluto is a very psychological planet. Okay, so there's going to be psychological games. There's going to be things happening in the background. There are going to be sudden changes. I'm not too worried about these squares and everything at this particular moment because, you know, there's a lot of bad information coming out on AMC all the time with people, A, trying to manipulate us from not holding, and B, AMC has been doing horrible lately and as far as like making money. So they do have a square to as Mercury doing this new moon, and we just got information, the bad information about, you know, how they didn't really make money like they used to make money. But that's okay. It didn't really affect the stock market too much, so I'm not too worried about that. And then the Mercury was actually sextiling AMC's sun, which would indicate good news. So, you know, that kind of cancels things out. Okay, so no matter what, Mercury represents, you know, communication, news. So there's a lot of talk on AMC. AMC is getting a lot of attention on this new moon. Okay. And it's really good attention because it is, you know, Hollywood type attention.
Okay, I played all that to say this. We knew all this stuff was coming, so don't believe the news. Most of it is deceiving. Believe in the stars. Believe in the omens. After all, these hedge funds do. And that's why Citadel named their dark pool company after a moon phase apogee. And last week we heard AMC CEO mention almonds several times regarding the company and the stock doing good. After all, when we're doing regular technical chart analysis, when we see certain patterns, we look at that as an occurrence that's going to foretell the future. That's an almond.
Talked about good morning. Let me tell you what good morning means in America these days. The combination of vaccinations and new movie releases. Godzilla vs. Kong opened last night. It's a movie about apes. In the world of meme stops, apes a good thing, maybe it's an omen. It's a movie about apes. In the world of meme stops, apes a good thing, maybe it's an omen.
Okay, check it out. So, a lot of people in the stock market use technical analysis for their almonds to foretell the future. AMC's CEO likes to use movie attendance for almonds to foretell the future. Yeah. You guys know where I'm getting at. True. Over here, at the market Moon Lord, where we merged the matrix with the stars. Yeah. I'm your host, Jason Alexander. And if you're watching this channel, you know I'm using astrology to foretell the future, baby. Let's go.
Jason Alexander, the blue moon of Neptune. The moon phaser. The blue moon phaser.
And the people part of the market Moon Lord knows there's many strong astrological setups happening on AMC's chart for big climaxes. So simply subscribe if you want to know what we see astrologically speaking for AMC. Please know I'm not worried at all. We're going to be going over all these astrological dates live this week, so stay tuned. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and please share. Peace.
To me, it becomes this deceptive energy, deceptive communication. But at the same time, we're getting a nice little sextile from Jupiter and the moon. So, you know, the square is a more stronger energy than the sextile. But these sextiles would suggest that everything's going to be okay. Like, for example, Mercury square Mercury, you say something you didn't mean to say, but Mercury sextiling Jupiter, it gets smoothed out. People are still optimistic about the situation. Mercury square the moon, okay, there's miscommunication, but we're still comfortable. So even though we're getting these squares with this Mercury energy, we're actually getting positive, like pulling in energy. Like Jupiter is expanding, it expands the balloon, you could say, and the moon is like the tide rising, right? So I'm not worried about that, but there is deception going on with the stock, guys. I mean, obviously we know that, but for real, I mean, there's a lot of it going on. Ben says, I've been watching your earlier videos. So far, your predictions have been on point. Yes, thank you. Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm always right, but I'm right enough where we're getting an idea of things, right? I explained early in the video where, you know, this is a game of getting further information, of using our fundamental, our technicals, you know. Like, for example, if we have like a huge drop on a full moon type day, I'm not going to sell on that type day because everyone's emotions are on a releasing type energy. And we know people of power, Jacob mentioned earlier, hedge funds or millionaires don't believe in astrologers, but billionaires do, right? Billionaires use them. And Forbes said that. You can see that on my Twitter right now. Okay. So keep that in mind. Like, if I were to try to get a whole bunch of people to become paper hams, I'm going to do that on a full moon type energy. Okay. Or on a waning type moon.